This is one of the most outrageous things I have heard in a long, long time.
In a case that has been filled with,
in a court proceeding that has nothing to do with Wendy's career. Moreover, that were made in front of Wendy Williams. If true, that is outrageous because this judge, one, she's not in the entertainment industry, so I don't know where she would get off opining about that and why that's even relevant to her role as a judge, who's basically the judge of the law, and in this case, judge.
Breaking scandal alert. Shireena Hudson just dropped the bomb that Kevin Hunter straight up robbed her blind, leaving her drowning in debt and ready to team up with Wendy Williams to drag him to court or straight to jail. We've seen messy divorces, we've seen bitter exes, but this is a full-blown financial betrayal that could rewrite the rules of revenge. And if you thought Wendy's legal battles were explosive before, wait until you hear what Shireena's revealing now, because this isn't just about stolen cash, it's about a man who played both sides for years, and now, the women he left behind are joining forces to take him down.
He was with me, begging forgiveness, telling me to take a moment, and he would see it, and we were meant to be together.
Let's rewind to the moment this all exploded. Shireena Hudson, the woman once labeled America's most infamous side figure after her years-long entanglement with Kevin Hunter while he was still married to Wendy, has just gone public with claims that could bury him for good. According to insiders, Shireena alleges Kevin didn't just deceive her emotionally. He systematically drained her finances, leaving her with crippling debts while he lived large off Wendy's alimony checks. And here's the twist. After years of silence, Shireena isn't just screaming into the void. She's allegedly in talks with Wendy's legal team, plotting a united front to expose Kevin's financial schemes in court. Imagine that, the two women he betrayed, now comparing notes, ready to dismantle the man who played them both.
And I sacrificed a lot of myself to come out successful on the other side.
But how did we get here? Let's break it down. Kevin Hunter, Wendy's ex of 21 years, was already a polarizing figure long before the divorce. As Wendy's manager and the executive producer of her show, he wielded power behind the scenes, but insiders describe a man who lived extravagantly while his wife's empire crumbled. Then came the affair with Shireena, a relationship that spanned over a decade in secret, producing a child in 2019, the final straw that ended Wendy and Kevin's marriage. At the time, Wendy filed for divorce, but the financial fallout was just beginning. Court documents later revealed Kevin was receiving a staggering $250,000 a month in alimony, until Wendy's health crisis and guardianship battle put those payments on pause. And that's when Kevin's own financial house of cards started to collapse. Fast forward to 2025, and the tables have turned. Shireena, once the silent figure in this saga, is now the one with receipts, literally. Sources claim she's gathered evidence showing Kevin used her credit, promised her luxury, then left her holding the bag while he struggled to pay his own bills. Meanwhile, Kevin's legal troubles are piling up. Just last year, a judge shut down his attempt to restart Wendy's alimony payments, citing his inability to manage his finances. Then came the lawsuits, credit card companies chasing him for over $20,000 in unpaid debts, his HOA slapping him with liens for missed payments on the Florida home he once shared with Shireena. And now, Shireena's allegations add fuel to the fire, painting Kevin not just as a cheater, but as a man who weaponized relationships for financial gain.
It happened, the banks froze everything up. Yeah. He was not in a position to pay $10,000 a month on a apartment.
But here's where the story takes a sharper turn. Wendy Williams, the woman Kevin once controlled, is now the one with leverage. After years under a controversial guardianship, where she's fought to prove her competence while her estate bleeds money, Wendy's legal team has been quietly gathering ammunition. And Shireena's testimony? That could be the missing piece. Insiders suggest Wendy's camp sees this as the perfect moment to strike. If they can prove Kevin's pattern of financial exploitation, they might not just stop his alimony claims for good. They could go after the millions he's already taken. Remember, this is the same man who, according to court filings, tried to drain Wendy's accounts while she was hospitalized, with her own son allegedly assisting him. Now, with Shireena's claims adding to the pile, the question isn't just about justice, it's about payback. And let's talk about the timing. Wendy's been making calculated moves lately, reappearing at New York Fashion Week in September, looking polished, defiant, even playful as she waved to fans from the front row. This wasn't just a fashion statement, it was a power move. Wendy's been locked in a battle to regain control of her life, her money, and her legacy. Meanwhile, Kevin's been scrambling, selling off luxury cars, facing eviction threats, and now staring down the barrel of Shireena's legal threats. The man who once lived in a $1.2 million Florida mansion is now fighting to keep the lights on. And if Wendy and Shireena's alliance holds, he might not just lose his lifestyle, he could lose everything.
I want to let people know that we still only human.
But here's the bigger question. What else does Shireena know? Because if Kevin's financial games with her mirror what he did to Wendy, we're not just talking about alimony or credit card debt. We're talking about a pattern, one that could extend to other women, other deals, other hidden accounts. And Wendy's team knows it. Legal experts say if they can prove Kevin engaged in a consistent scheme of deception, they could argue for fraud, not just in family court, but in criminal proceedings. That's right. This isn't just a divorce drama anymore. It's a potential legal reckoning. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Wendy's guardianship. For years, she's been trapped in a system she calls a luxury prison. Her every move monitored, her finances controlled by a court-appointed guardian, while her family fights to free her. But if Wendy can prove Kevin's financial misconduct played a role in her current situation, if she can show he helped trigger the guardianship by draining her resources, she might just have the ammunition to break free. And Sharina's testimony could be the key. Because here's the thing, Kevin didn't just betray Wendy with another woman. According to Shireena, he betrayed Shireena with Wendy's money. And that kind of irony? That's the kind of twist even Wendy in her prime would have loved to unpack on air.
With Argus, I've always spoke to her, and she's always wanted me to spend her money.
But let's not forget the wild card in all this, Kevin Hunter Jr., Wendy's son, who once stood by his father, has been noticeably quiet lately. Sources say he's been distancing himself from the family drama, focusing on his own career in education. But with his father's legal troubles mounting and his mother's team circling, could he be the next domino to fall? Or will he stay silent, letting the women Kevin wronged take the lead? Because make no mistake, this isn't just about money anymore. It's about legacy. It's about who gets to write the final chapter of Wendy Williams' story, the man who tried to control her or the women he underestimated. And that brings us to the million-dollar question. What happens if Wendy and Shireena actually win? Because if they can prove Kevin's financial schemes in court, the fallout won't just be personal, it'll be public. We're talking seized assets, frozen accounts, maybe even criminal charges. And for Wendy, it could mean the end of her guardianship nightmare. Because let's be real, the same courts that put her under lock and key might just see her in a new light if she's the one exposing the real predator in this story. But as we dig deeper, one thing's becoming clear. Kevin Hunter's past is catching up to him. And the women he left behind? They're not just mad, they're organized, they're strategic. And if the rumors are true, they're about to drop a legal bomb that could leave Kevin with nothing but the clothes on his back. The question is, how far are they willing to go? Because if Shireena's claims are just the tip of the iceberg, we might be looking at a scandal that doesn't just end Kevin's financial games. It could expose a web of deception that stretches back years, one that involves more than just Wendy and Shireena. And if that's the case, then the real story isn't just about revenge. It's about survival. Because in Hollywood, in the courts, in the world of high-stakes divorces and hidden fortunes, the one rule that never changes is this: the house always wins. And right now, the house is Wendy, and she's playing for keeps. But here's the thing we can't ignore. If Shireena and Wendy really join forces against Kevin, what dark secrets from his past exploits could come tumbling out next? Secrets that might shatter more than just his bank account. Because in a story this explosive, the first revelation is never the last. And if Kevin's been playing this game for as long as we think he has, then the real question isn't just about the money he took. It's about the people he burned along the way. And trust us, those people, they're waiting for their moment too.
I mean, I take accountability for my actions, for what's obvious out there, obviously obvious.
Sources claim this isn't Kevin Hunter's first rodeo when it comes to financial manipulation. And the deeper we dig, the more his pattern of deception starts to look like a blueprint. Let's start with Wendy's guardianship battle, a saga that's dragged on since 2022, when Wells Fargo froze her accounts, citing concerns over her cognitive state. But here's the twist. Court documents suggest Kevin wasn't just a bystander in this mess. He was allegedly pulling strings behind the scenes, using his position as Wendy's former manager to influence decisions, even as her family was locked out. Insiders say he pushed for control over her finances, arguing he was the only one who could protect her. Yet, when Wendy's guardianship was upheld, Kevin's own financial house started crumbling. Coincidence? Or was he counting on her money to keep his lifestyle afloat, only to lose access when the court stepped in? Then there's the matter of the $4.5 million duplex. Wendy's former Manhattan home, sold at a loss by her guardian in 2024, is now a glaring symbol of how much Kevin stood to gain, or lose, from her downfall. Critics point out that if Wendy and Shireena joined forces legally, they could argue Kevin's influence over that sale was part of a larger scheme to drain her assets. And let's not forget the alimony war. Kevin's lawsuit last June, demanding $250 million in damages for what he called fraudulent bondage, wasn't just a legal Hail Mary, it was a desperate move. Insiders believe he was banking on a payout to dig himself out of debt. But the judge saw right through it, dismissing his claims and leaving him scrambling. Now, with Shireena's allegations adding to the pile, the question isn't just whether Kevin will lose his fight for alimony, it's whether he'll face consequences for the money he's already taken.
An inordinate amount of people that took advantage of my absence, and her vulnerability at the time.
But Kevin's not going down without a fight. His silence on Shireena's claims speaks volumes. Because when you're cornered, sometimes the best defense is no defense at all. Meanwhile, his legal team has been quietly pushing back, arguing that Shireena's accusations are just sour grapes from a woman scorned. Yet, the timing is too perfect to ignore. Shireena's decision to go public comes just as Kevin's financial woes hit the mainstream. Credit card lawsuits, HOA liens, even rumors that he's liquidating luxury cars to stay afloat. And let's not overlook the fact that his relationship with Shireena reportedly spanned over a decade, overlapping with his marriage to Wendy. If Shireena's claims about financial betrayal hold up, they don't just paint Kevin as a cheater, they paint him as a man who used relationships as ATM machines. That's not just a personal failing, that's a pattern. And in a court of law, patterns are everything. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Wendy's son, Kevin Jr. The young man who once stood by his father has been noticeably absent from this latest drama. Sources say he's focused on building his own career in education, distancing himself from the family chaos. But here's the thing. Kevin Jr. was there during some of the messiest moments of Wendy's guardianship battle. He was with her at that Florida bank in 2022, when Wells Fargo flagged suspicious activity on her accounts. He was the one asking for power of attorney while Wendy was allegedly unresponsive. And now, with his father's legal troubles mounting, the question is, will he break his silence? Or will he let the women his father wronged take the lead in exposing the truth? Because if Wendy and Shireena's alliance gains traction, Kevin Jr. might find himself pulled into the crossfire, whether he likes it or not.
I feel like the Guardian has not done a good job of protecting my mom. As long as she has people around who are yes people, I know that she's not getting the help that she needs or getting better.
But the real bombshell here isn't just about Kevin's past. It's about what comes next. Wendy's been making power moves lately, stepping back into the spotlight at New York Fashion Week, looking sharper and more defiant than ever. This isn't just a comeback, it's a statement. And if she's serious about reclaiming control of her life, her money, and her legacy, then Kevin Hunter is the last obstacle standing in her way. Shireena's testimony could be the missing piece Wendy's legal team needs to argue that Kevin's financial games weren't just personal, they were predatory. And if they can prove that in court, the fallout won't just be financial, it'll be reputational. Because, let's be real, Kevin's been playing the victim for years, painting himself as the wronged ex-husband, the devoted father, the man just trying to get by. But if Shireena's claims hold up, that narrative crumbles. And in its place, a portrait of a man who used love as leverage, relationships as revenue streams, and trust as a weapon. And that brings us to the bigger picture. Because if Wendy and Shireena's alliance is as strong as insiders suggest, this isn't just about settling scores. It's about exposing a system. Wendy's guardianship battle has already shown a light on how easily a powerful man can manipulate the courts, the banks, even the people closest to him. But if Shireena's claims are true, then Kevin didn't just exploit Wendy, he exploited the system itself, using legal loopholes, financial pressure, and emotional leverage to keep both women under his thumb. And if that's the case, then this isn't just a divorce drama, it's a reckoning. Because for every Wendy, for every Shireena, there are women who never get their day in court. Women who stay silent, who walk away broken, who never get the chance to fight back. But Wendy? She's got the platform, she's got the resources, and now she's got an ally.
Sorry.
But here's where things get even more interesting. Because if Kevin's been playing this game for as long as we think he has, then Shireena and Wendy might not be his only victims. Rumors have swirled for years about Kevin's business dealings, his side projects, his so-called investments. And let's not forget the whispers about his publishing company, Hunter Publishing Group, a venture that insiders say was more about image than income. If Wendy and Shireena's legal team starts digging into Kevin's financial history, what else might they find? Unpaid debts? Shady contracts? Other women who've been left holding the bag? Because in a story like this, the first revelation is never the last. And if Kevin's been running this playbook for decades, then the real scandal isn't just about the money he took, it's about the people he left behind. Now, let's talk about the court of public opinion, because in many ways, that's where this battle will be won or lost. Wendy's fans have rallied behind her for years, seeing her as a survivor, a fighter, a woman who's been knocked down but never stays down. And Shireena? She's no longer just the other woman. She's a whistleblower, a survivor in her own right. Together, they're a force to be reckoned with. And Kevin? He's running out of allies. His legal team is on the back foot. His son is staying silent. Even his former mistress is turning against him. So what's his next move? Does he double down, digging in for a nasty legal fight? Or does he cut his losses and disappear before the fallout gets worse? Because one thing's clear, The Kevin Hunter who once wielded power behind the scenes is now the one in the hot seat. And the women he underestimated? They're the ones holding the match. But as we watch this drama unfold, there's one question that keeps nagging at us. How deep does this go? Because if Kevin's financial schemes are just the tip of the iceberg, then the real story isn't about alimony or credit card debt. It's about a man who built his life on deception, and the women who are finally fighting back. And if Wendy and Shireena's alliance holds, if their legal strategy works, then Kevin Hunter might not just lose his money, he might lose everything. His reputation, his relationships, his very place in the story. Because in the end, this isn't just about justice, it's about power. And right now, the power is shifting. So here's what we want to know from you. Do you think Kevin Hunter's downfall is just beginning? Or is this the end of the road for him? Because if Wendy and Shireena's plan works, we might be looking at one of the most explosive celebrity takedowns in years. And trust us, you won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned, stay curious, and as always, keep it locked right here for the drama that just won't quit. Until next time, this is your front row seat to the scandal of the century. Don't go anywhere, because the best is yet to come.